start. It's been a long time coming. We're starting this off, and honestly, I don't even want to do it. We'll just get straight to it. So we're going to pull it out of the hat, and then we'll rattle off about it, and then we'll say our last words, and then we'll just keep going from there.
Ooh, la.
This one. Getting in trouble young. That's not bad. Getting in trouble.
I feel like everybody's gotten in trouble, like, when they were little, at least one time that you can think of that was absolutely terrible.
What do you mean by little?
Just young in general, like, probably
Like
under 18.
under 20?
Under 20, yeah,
Because
that's
it's
fine.
young. Like, it's still a kid.
I feel like I'm still young, so it's like, I guess if I
Yeah.
make a mistake now, I could just count it as making a
Yeah.
mistake young, so it's fine. But, no.
How much trouble did you get into? Did you get into trouble at all? You weren't
When I
in
was
trouble,
little?
right?
No,
What
not
about
really.
when you were a kid? Like, from being a small child growing up, like, did you ever cause trouble, or were you ever, like, a maniac in any
No,
way?
like, it's crazy. Like, I was, like, I feel like the child I was is how I hope that we raised Maslow. Like, I hope that
Yeah,
I hope that he's just
same.
super, like, good and follows the rules and is super respectful and
For some
just all that
reason,
stuff.
I was almost scared to get in trouble. I was
Yeah.
for a second, I was almost scared to cause waves until that became like I just like didn't cause waves.
I was like, until you did. Until
yeah,
you
that.
started getting in a lot of trouble, and
But,
you're like,
like,
oh.
Until I feel like until I got to maybe middle school and then high school, you see other people like
Doing
either getting in
crazy
trouble.
shit.
Yeah, just don't really care. You're like,
No, like, I think that's the craziest thing, because it's like, I was always surrounded with people that were just getting in trouble, just doing just crazy shit, and I wasn't getting in trouble. I had one time that I got in trouble, and like, nobody could forget it. It's just like,
really?
yeah.
You don't feel comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
What happened?
I think I've told you before, but it was like, I told my parents that I was going to a movie with the basketball team. I was not going to a movie with the basketball team.
You said it was with a basketball team?
That's what I said. Yeah, I was like, yeah, the basketball team's just like going out, and it was like, I feel like with my parents, it was like I just didn't like talking about boys, and so
you're like,
I was just like, yeah, basketball team's like the good, like, you know, backup. But I remember even Kiki saying, like, why don't you just like hit me up and be like, yeah, Jay, like, are you going out tonight? And I'll be like, yeah, like, we're going to the movies, right? And then she'd be like, yeah.
And she just covered for you.
Yeah, she just covered for me. So if like anybody
Look
calls,
at
she's
you.
like, yeah, actually, like, James in the bathroom, like, or something. Like, I didn't tell nobody, and then I was just out with this dude, like, at a movie. And it wasn't even that bad. I was just at a movie with a dude, but it's like,
But the fact, yeah,
the fact that I lied,
not what you said.
yeah, yeah, the fact that I lied about it. And then my parents called the cops because they couldn't call me because my phone died. I had a terrible phone.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I was out super late, and I told them it was like a midnight premiere. And I was out until like 2 a.m.
What movie did you say you were gonna go see?
Whatever movie we actually saw is what I told them I was going to see, which was
Really?
actually a midnight premiere at
Oh yeah,
Southwoods.
you're right. You went with a dude. You just said it was the basketball team.
Yeah.
I see.
So I the whole thing was the truth, except
You saw
I
the Avengers. What the hell did you go see? I want to know what you need to go see.
I don't remember, but
That is foolishness.
yeah, it was like super crazy. Honestly, I feel like if it was a halfway decent movie, I would have remembered it. But
I get
yeah, but yeah, I had gotten in trouble, and then my dad had called like all these people to try to find me because he thought I was missing, and then called the cops. And then I got home, and I was in so much trouble. And then it was like I got back to school and stuff, and then like everybody like knew about it. It was just like, Jamie, what'd you do this weekend? I was like, oh shit. and then like I would go over like say like Kiki's family or whatever, and then their parents would bring
You
it
said
up.
everybody knew?
Yeah, like their parents would bring it up and be like, so what are you doing? And I'm like,
Jeez. Oh, because
Yeah.
your parents had called around.
yeah. So it was like, it was just so crazy because it's like I had never even done anything remotely bad. Like I was always like super good. Like I wasn't the kid that was like out doing drugs or out having sex or
Mhm.
out in a gang, like doing some misfit shit. Like, I never was that person. Even partying, I didn't party that much in high school.
Yeah.
So I was like a good kid, and then I lied one time, and then nobody ever let me let it down. I was like,
One
fuck
time,
this.
everybody knows, and you're like, I went to see a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just through being uncomfortable, like, I don't even feel like telling you, like, this is a dude, just fucking relax.
Right. And it was just like so crazy once you get to college, because then it's like you don't have to like tell anybody, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, to anybody.
and it's like it's not like I did that like crazy of shit then either, but it's like I didn't have to be like, hey mom and dad.
Yeah,
like,
check in. That's
yeah.
weird. No, like I said, I didn't get into a lot of trouble. Oh my god. I told you I got suspended when I was in like, what was I in 4th grade? I think I was in 4th grade or 5th grade. I think I was in 5th grade. I got suspended because I can't even honestly remember what happened. Somebody pushed Tracy. He pushed my brother, so I kicked him.
You
And
got
then,
suspended? That's
And like
stupid.
the recess monitor or something saw.
Recess
And then
monitor.
Yeah, it was like some sort of teacher was out at recess, and I was like, "What?" And then I like,
What? I didn't do anything.
talked to the principal, and obviously they called my parents or something. And I was like suspended for like, I can't remember if I was suspended for a day or 3 days or whatever. I was like, the college is gonna see. I don't know why I was so hell bent on the colleges, because I was like
so funny. Like,
I was a little kid. And I thought the colleges was gonna go on my permanent record and stuff.
I feel that though, because when I was in middle school, like you think like all your grades are gonna be seen by everyone,
Be
and like
reported to the
there was
president.
nothing right.
The president was gonna read my grades.
Nobody cares.
What?
Even when you're in high school, like if you get decent grades, most of the time you're gonna get accepted. But I still got crazy great grades and got stressed out 24/7.
I had to do extracurriculars.
I had to do all this stuff, and it's like, what? Like, why are you stressed out?
Like, relax.
Yeah.
It's
Relax.
weird. It's really strange, but like, I remember that was one of the first times I got in big trouble. I remember I got in trouble. I think I was in 4th grade, chasing in 5th grade, or maybe I was in 5th grade, chasing in 6th grade. But we went to the same middle school, or what is that? Elementary school, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the same elementary school, and we were selling these like little origami everything. We had origami like cups and then like little origami paper claws.
What?
So you could put them on your fingers and then like extend out, and then it was just like super cool. As a
I
kid.
remember those.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
You like have claws, like.
And literally you have like one on every finger. That shit was so cool. And
You
then,
sold them, is what you said?
yeah, I think we made like flyers. Yeah, it's my parents. We made like flyers or something, and then they were selling for like 25 cents or 50 cents if you want claws or this for that or whatever. And they were like handing them out to our classes, and then somehow it got around to the teacher, and then it got around to like the principal, and she was like, "You guys come here for a sec." And then they brought our parents, and they're like, they're not in trouble, but like we can't have them doing this. I think it was something like, if they're making money through the school has to get a cut of it or something like that. And so, what? Like, I have no idea. I don't even really know what this was. They're like, yeah, we can't just have them like selling claws.
Claws?
Hella kids wanted them because they didn't know how to make them. So we're just like this is how you do it.
Oh,
Like,
25 cents. Oh,
right?
25
Like,
cents.
it was just weird. And I remember we got in trouble for that. Or,
It's crazy too, like, when you're really little, how much you think money is. Like I remember my mom used to be like, here's $5, like, you go get lunch or something. I'd be like, okay. And I was hyped.
He's like,
Dude,
this.
$5?
Yes.
And when you're even younger, it's like 25 cents. Mom, I collected all these pennies. You know how many
Right.
pennies I collected when I was little? I had this, oh my god, I had this jar. I'm sure it's still at the house. I had this jar that was like this big. And it was like huge. I don't know why.
That's
It was
cool though.
It was a huge baby bottle.
I've seen those.
And you pull the top off.
From where?
Where
Where do you get those? I've seen that before.
I don't know. You pull the top off, or you'd like stuff them in there if you have enough, or you could like ping them in at the top,
Yeah.
and literally that fucking thing was filled like the whole way. Like if I found pennies on the
pretty
floor,
cool.
I'd be hyped. I'd be like, pennies, Like, all the stuff on the floor. Oh, God, I need to pick them up.
That's
And I
sweet
put them
though.
in there, like, I never cashed out on that shit. Like,
You just
it's
collected
just,
them.
yeah,
You
it's
never
just
cashed
sitting
out
in
on
there.
them.
I
get you.
wonder how much is in there. I'm sure it's probably like $20 or something if it's all pennies,
Yeah.
mostly. It's like, that was tight when you're little, you're like,
What is that?
I don't
I've
know.
seen those baby bottles.
Baby bottles. I don't know. Is there anything like else you can collect them in? I feel like piggy
Some
jars.
million things you can-
I just
Big-ass
huge baby
I've seen those
baby
before.
bottles. I don't know
forgot.
why.
That was literally erased from my memory. You just brought that a big ass baby bottle full of change. I know exactly. I don't know if it was like
It was
Babies R Us or what.
I don't know. I
What
would
the
have to
fuck?
ask my parents where they got it. I had no idea.
Where would you get that?
I don't even know if it was a gift that was given at Christmas. I don't know. All of a sudden we had this giant penny jar, a baby bottle thing that we put all this stuff in.
That's so strange. That's all you can remember though. Is just having it and just putting.
Just having it and
pennies
it
in
being full.
It
It was never empty.
That's weird.
Yeah, like
I'm sure they had it before you were born,
maybe. I
or
don't
maybe
know.
right when you.
But you never
maybe it was
put
a baby
dollars
shower
in there.
thing. Yeah.
Only coins.
That's
Only
crazy.
It's like little kid stuff. It's crazy.
I remember. I can't remember if my parents got it for me or like an aunt or an uncle or grandparents or something. But I remember I got like this decently sized flip book with every state on it.
Quarters?
Yeah. Did you have the same thing?
My grandpa still collects like quarters like that.
Really?
And yeah, like I remember it was like I think it was like either last Christmas or last birthday or something. He gave me like this thing full of quarters. Like it's cool like to look at or whatever, but it's like I think it had maybe like 6, 7 quarters, something like that in there.
Oh,
And I remember when
I thought
I
it was
was-
finished.
no, like you can collect I think it's like you can collect the 50 quarters or whatever, or there's like individual quarters you can collect. It's either like for each state or like each year or something like that.
Yeah, it's gotta be state.
It must be a state or something like that. So there's only like 7 in it, and it was like for a specific state or something, and like
Yeah.
gave it to me. And I mean,
Or
I guess it's
maybe
cool.
it'd be insane if there were 7 different, like, for example, Colorado coins. That'd be pretty cool. There's like Colorado
I'd have to go
State
get it. Like
quarter
I don't
for,
even
like-
know what it was. Pretty sure I gave it to all 3 of us like last Christmas. I think you were there. Yeah, I was just like, oh okay.
That's weird.
I remember when I was I
Okay.
remember when I was little though. Like he would give us stuff like that. Like it would be from like him and my grandma, and it'd be tight. Like I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be like super cool. Cause like when you're little, like quarters are freaking awesome. You know what I mean?
You're
Like.
like, wow, it's like $30.
Yeah.
Hard on.
Oh my god, I remember when my grandma put, I can't remember what age I was. My grandma put a different Christmas sticker on like 50 different quarters. It had to be like, I think it had to be 50 because there's 25 days of Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So she would give us 2 quarters each day. And they each had different like
I mean, Christmas
little
sticker.
stickers. Just a sticker and you put on the quarter. You say, here you go. And, and I remember like keeping them things for like years.
Right.
Like
yeah,
just in
exactly.
a little like purse, like a little like baby like girl purse.
But
For
they
years.
still had the stickers on them?
Yeah. Never took them off. I said, nope. I'm keeping these. And then I got older and I was like, why did I never rip these off? And then I would like try to rip them off and they
Just,
wouldn't
like,
come off.
Peel off halfway. And you're
Yeah, I'm like, oh. And then I was
Yeah.
like, what's the point of this? So then I just put it back in my room.
He said, what's the point of this? Okay. You just kept them.
Yeah, so they're just like in there, I think, with a bunch of stickers on them.
That's foolishness. Yeah, no, I remember having this coin book with quarters. I think my dad gave it to me, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I remember having that thing for years. It was almost like a 3-ring, like, book, like
Mhm.
binder. It was not only a binder, but it was like these things were shaped like squares and had like 3 rings,
Mm.
and it was just like flip it over and there's a quarter and like facts about the state. I think it was cool.
Yeah.
I
See,
kinda-
those are really cool, and I think my grandpa actually collected those
yeah.
and had a lot of them.
Hmm.
Because I can't remember, at some point, like, I think he showed it to me, and there was like a lot of like different booklets or whatever of
Really?
like different stuff, and they all had that little writing on it, like,
Yeah.
oh, like this is what this is from, like this is where this is the mint that it was made in, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're new stuff, like they're not just
Yeah.
old quarters. Like I remember at some point, I think when I was little, he gave me like this, like that 50 state thing.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like I was like, that's like super tight, but it's like you pick quarters up and they're all like, you know, dirty, like everybody's been using them, and you put them in.
I think the
But-
coolest thing is finding something super clean.
Mm-hmm.
Having that book is when I learned the state flower for Colorado is the Columbine.
Wow.
R.I.P. Columbine. Or like the state fruit for Georgia's the peach, or that's what Georgia peaches, or like
Right.
Florida oranges, or state birds. You know what I mean, like
Mhm.
the cardinal, or you know what I mean. I learned all that
I think
random
that's
stuff.
maybe why he was so interested in it. It was like all the different
There's
stuff.
a ton
that
of
it
stuff. I
came
remember it had like
from.
the motto for every state, which is
Mhm.
really crazy. You don't think about every state having a motto, just because I don't. Like I was born into the United States. I don't think about
Mhm.
the states having been established individually. Like,
Right.
okay, nothing else is there, but this is Massachusetts. Nothing else is there, but this is Nevada. Okay, now Colorado, now Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Like one at a
Mhm.
time, adding states. I just don't even think about it like that. Like,
Right.
you know, it's cool, and they just have like different mottos. The flag, state flags are crazy, and it's just crazy. It was really cool to
Yeah.
look at, and like the individual quarter is cool, but when you find a clean one and you could look at all the specific
Mhm.
details, like that's just tight. And I remember revisiting that, having had jobs like Buffalo Wild Wings or Starbucks, or any sort of cashier job where you just handle a lot of change. You're like, what the fuck? I should be collecting.
Mhm.
It's weird. I don't know. So that's when I started thinking about it. I was like, no, I'm of age. That's just kind of cool. But when I was a kid, like, it's just cool because I have a ton of quarters in my hands. You know what I mean? Like,
So I feel like, I don't know
Or the
why I
facts,
thought
I
it was the
guess.
opposite. Maybe like it's just like super cool to be given all that stuff, and like I feel like now maybe if I had a collection of it, it'd be really cool. Like maybe if like honestly, maybe if my grandpa gave it like one of those things to me every single like year, that'd be tight. You know what I mean? Because then you start collecting and you're like, wow,
these are
like
collecting.
this is super cool. Like,
That's just cool.
but I feel like collecting is kind of like a childhood thing. Like, do you remember like
Collecting is
collecting stuff like a lot when you were little? Because I do. I
I
collected a lot of stuff.
Collecting is it's a sort of behavior associated with, I don't know, definitely associated with OCD to a degree, but
I see that. I guess.
collecting is, it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't know, I'll come back to it, but collecting is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Why, like, I think a certain personality type leads people to collect certain things. Like, I could not imagine you collecting stamps. Fuck is that? People really do that. Anyways, but yeah, no, like certain like collecting stuff. Like, what kind of stuff did you collect?
When I was in like 3rd grade, I collected baseball cards, and that's crazy. Like the other subject we were talking about, like older like teachers. I think he was the vice principal. His name was Mr. Loomis, and he gave me
Like that dude from Harry Potter. What's his name? The dude who turned into a werewolf. Professor Lupus, is that his name?
Lupus, maybe? I don't know either. But so I collected baseball cards, like heavy.
Somebody out there
And-
is yelling at us like, "It's Professor Dan!"
Right, probably.
But anyways,
And I like collected baseball cards heavy, and like I had like I think I had a binder full at some point of baseball cards, right?
damn.
And I was like trading them with this dude Alex in my class, and I would like trade after school with him. And I think there was some other dude I traded with too, because he collected baseball cards. And so we just like traded different cards and stuff or whatever. And then I remember going into his office at one point, and like, because he was just a chill dude, and like I was like talking to him, and he was like, "You collect baseball cards?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I'm gonna have to bring mine in." I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Really?" And then he brought his in and he gave them to me. And I
You
had
said
like,
you're the principal.
Yeah, it was like the vice principal of
Hmm.
Cherry Creek Academy. But yeah, like he gave me probably like I'd say 2-3 binders full of baseball cards.
Damn.
Like I had so many baseball cards. Like it was
Oh, because
insane.
he saw because you were trading with somebody.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, you're interested in baseball cards? Like, I don't really use these anymore." Or maybe he was still interested in them, but he knew I was like younger, and like he's like, "Here you go." I had so many baseball cards. Like, I was so interested in it. Like,
But,
it was super cool.
You know what's interesting? Why didn't he give those baseball cards to that kid Alex?
Probably because I was a girl.
You think so? He thought it was cool. He was
Probably.
like, "This is the one. These ones."
But honestly, the crazy thing is, I bet he did give. I wouldn't be surprised if he gave some to those other dudes.
You know, really?
No, like I'm sure he probably at some point was like, at least like here's a few cards or whatever, because he was chill. Like I'm sure he shared. Like he was just like, here you go. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Is there ever anything that almost like something that you learned as a kid that stayed with you? Like something like, for some reason I know every single number of every single baseball player. You know what I mean? Or like I know all the
I know the
All
50
the-
states in order in a song.
I know exactly that song. You know why? Because I was scared. I remember my
Can you
parents
remember
went to no, I have to always stop in the middle of the A's, which is like four.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I can sing it right now. I can sing it right now.
You're crazy. But so I guess something like that. Or like I said, for some reason I know some of the state mottos and some of the state like flowers and state plants and state.
You know something crazy? I remembered at some point we must have had a test on it or something. I could remember every single president backwards
That's crazy.
and their vice presidents.
No way.
I'm serious. We had an
No
exam on it, and I remember
way.
every single one all the way back.
Yeah.
And if you can remember, I remember it was like if you can remember all of them or something, you'll get extra credit points. And I got extra credit points because I knew every single freaking president and every single vice president all the way back. I couldn't tell you, you know what I mean? I couldn't tell you any of them. I could probably
Vice
tell you the last
presidents.
like 10, but
Yeah.
like. And then I could just be like, oh, this guy was president, this guy was, but I'm not gonna be able to put them in order. And when they're in order, you could really tell, like, it made history a lot easier for me when I knew all the presidents, because it's like, oh, this happened during this time.
Yeah, I
like
get you. Yeah,
this president
okay.
was president during this specific amount of years, which is when this happened.
Do you know?
That we don't, probably not.
This is a test. Do you
Not
know
anymore.
It's not a crazy question. Do you know the president that decided to drop the atomic bombs?
Mm-mm.
You know?
Mm-mm.
I probably, if I give you a hint, you probably wouldn't know either.
Probably not.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Really?
LBJ, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Or do you know?
You're just gonna give me all these fun facts.
No. Could you throw out like any presidents that people probably wouldn't know was a president? Or probably somebody who just doesn't think, like an unorthodox president. Almost like Andrew Johnson on the $20 bill. It's like, oh, I forgot he was actually a president. Yeah, like, or
I don't know.
Or like
See, that's what I
Lyndon
said. Like, it's crazy how much you can memorize when you're little, and then
that's what, to me, more so my point was something you learned that was little, that you're little, that stuck with you, and you're like, for some reason I just remember like like me and Tracy would play so many basketball games and so many like just like playing in like NBA Street, from being 3-on-3 or whatever the teams, whatever the team comps were, and then we played like NBA 09 The Inside, which was like one of the first games on Xbox to where you had like a story and you had to follow your own player and stuff. But that was how I like learned all the classic basketball players. Like I had no idea who Julius Erving was playing for the Sixers. I mean, my dad would tell me stuff like that, But
Right.
if you play a
That,
video
like,
game
helped you.
over and over and over
Huh.
and over again, you see like all these players in their jerseys, like Clyde Drexler and Patrick Ewing, and you hear about them and stuff. But when you interact with them, and I think video games with our generation, it's just it almost teaches you something. And I remember playing 2K a few years ago, and then they have like the 2K TV, load up before you play My Career or whatever, play
Right.
online or whatever. And they had, I think it was Dwight Howard, and they were like, do you ever think, or maybe it was like PJ Tucker or somebody, like, do you ever play 2K and feel like that does anything to your game? And he was like, oh yeah, like I feel like sometimes to agree, like playing 2K will have it will kind of do something to your like basketball IQ, or it will do something to your knowledge of either the game sense or just past players or the history or whatever. Just like you'll see different things that EA Sports put together or whoever put together, and you'll be like, whoa, like I'm just playing a
That'd be
video
crazy
game.
if that actually happened.
Right? I'm just playing a video game. Like I'm just doing this for entertainment, but for somehow it's adding to my knowledge base, or it's adding to how I understand the game. And it's like I'm seeing that you're just being exposed to it a different way. And I remember
I could see where maybe like specific skills or something that you wouldn't even never think to try, and then all of a sudden now you're trying it and stuff
or like
that.
different plays, or like I remember just seeing like the way you can run a pick and roll and somebody will pop out, or the way you can run a pick and roll and this person can hit threes so much that they're gonna have to D him up when he pops out, which frees you open for when you drop down. It's like just seeing that over and over again. Just even though you're playing with your hands,
you're crazy.
You see it happening. It's weird. It's really strange. I'm just coming up.
You don't think of it like
all
those years of practice, all those years of stuff that you did. You just think, oh yeah, I learned it in a video game.
Yeah, you learn in a video game.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Everything I learned was like on the court. I feel like.
I mean, yeah, like I learned quite a bit on the court. I remember.
I'm sure, but maybe it's like a little bit here or there.
I mean, I feel like I only recognized that when I was like, I don't know, probably like when I was out of the house.
Right.
And I looked back and I was like, damn, me and Trace are playing so much basketball. I definitely got that from that game.
That's crazy.
Or I definitely got that from, you know what I mean? I'm not thinking about it actively as it's happening, but when it like manifests, and it takes me years down the line, I feel like a lot of things come of it. Like when I come of age, like I say like 20, 21, older, and I can look back and think about like, that's crazy. Like this is what I was literally thinking about.
Right.
Or this is what happened as I was thinking something completely different. Like I was not even aware of it. I was just having fun, and then like that's happening. It's weird. It's really strange, but I think I was thinking about that with quarters, or like something like basketball, or something like quarters, to where you for some reason you've seen this. So like I said, that I kept that thing for years. Like you said, you kept those quarters for years. You kept that little quarter book for years, and I just like sometimes read it, put it away, so I read it, like huh, and then you just for some reason some of that stuff stays with you. It's weird.
Right.
But yeah. Geez, what do we pull out? Getting in trouble when you're young. I thought you put this I want to put this one back in.
Yeah.
I want to put this one back in.
Okay.
Any last words?
No. Okay. I think that's it. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. That was crazy. There's gonna be more.
There will be.
There's gonna be more, but Jamie's sleepy, so.
I am sleepy.
So
Cameron makes me record at 11 at night.
Until next time, guys.